What's up, guys? This is Kyle from Wax Museum, and you've probably seen it by now, but there's a trend on social media where people are going back and posting screenshots of their old eBay purchases. And most of these are pandemic era because it's probably the most enjoyable for everyone else to see, like, I spent how much on these base rookies, or I spent how much on these slabbed base cards. So I figured I would go ahead and look at 2020 to see how some of my pandemic purchases held up. And I haven't looked at these yet. So this is the first time I'm seeing them, obviously, since I bought them. To look at your previous eBay purchases, you go to My eBay on the app, go to Purchases, and then in the top right corner, you should see where it says Refine, and you can click the year. Okay, so I actually scrolled all the way down so we could start with January. I do want to contextualize things a little bit here, even though you guys were alive during this era. Maybe you weren't collecting at this time, but 2019, 2020 was Zion's rookie year. There was a lot of hype around him. He was injured at the start of the year, so people were still really hunting for his stuff because they were excited about him. Later on in January, then, Kobe Bryant passed away. And then, of course, a couple months after that, we had our pandemic, and then there was stimulus stuff and all sorts of things happening in 2020. So keep that in mind as we're looking at these dates, and you can kind of put stuff on a timeline. I'm not going to cover every card just because that would take forever in every purchase, but stuff here, like, look, there's a couple of lots. I think I did a lot of lot hunting in 2020, so that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, like the 24 autographed baseball cards one. There was a Ken Caminiti autograph in there that I think I ended up selling for like $100. So pretty happy about that. And a lot of these lots had finds where, it was stuff that the market had really surpassed people's knowledge of what they had, or like cards that were in dollar boxes for years ended up now being worth $8 or $9. There's a binder, who knows what, actually I do remember what was in that. I pulled a 2012 LeBron Select Silver was in that binder, among other things. We've got Zion stuff, so I was buying base Zion cards, not to the extent that, some of the crazy prices that I've seen online, but I think I was trying to buy Zion. So if you see like 1216 here, that was probably a lot of them, because look down here, this one's $350. I think I was buying any of them that I could get for $3 and under, the Hoops rookies, which would have been a great plan if I had moved them when I should have. And Ja Morant I was buying as well for $3 and under. I still have a big stack of Ja. Those got up to like $10 at one point. I should have got rid of them, but I think I still have a lot of them. I did move some of them, though. We got a Jeff Foster printing plate. Some more status. I don't have that James Harden Pursuit anymore. I ended up trading that at some point. Here's a Fred Jones logo man. This Kobe Bryant I bought not long after he passed away, which that was high at the time. Like, those used to go for, in the $10 range, the Topps rookies. Then he passed away and they shot up. So I tried to grab one before they went up super high. I don't know what they're back down to now, but either way, that one right there that you see is still in my PC. So I'll go through some of this stuff kind of quick here. The Reggie Miller auto, duel with David Harrison for $50. Some random Pacers game-worn headbands, dollar printing plates. Another Rick Smits patch. That was a big purchase for me. Still one of my biggest purchases to date, that Ron Artest logo man. I felt like at the time I had to really pay up for that. I felt like I probably paid pretty high, but I'm glad I did. It's one of the top cards in my PC, and it's one that I don't anticipate ever leaving the collection. All right, so nothing crazy here. I mean, there's a Havlicek rookie. There's a Jeff Foster Star Rubies for $74. Here's the Brawl ticket that I recently showed off. I thought I got that for $100, but apparently I got it for $60. There's a Kobe patch with a piece of a finals trophy on it. I think it's from a warm-up, but $100, and that was 2 months after he passed. So stuff was still, even though it seemed like it was going up and it felt high to people, it still, to me, some of it felt very affordable, and I still don't know how that one went under the radar. I think people didn't realize what that patch piece was from, probably. We got some Prism stuff, some refractors, and Jeff Teague Gold Prism. Now it's funny, now people ask me about that card. Now that Jeff Teague's popular, they want that. Nobody wanted it at the time. We've got some lots. Like, this is the kind of stuff, like, I wouldn't buy that Curry lot now, but at the time that was actually a good buy, because that slabbed Curry, the Mosaic slabbed Curry, a PSA 9, people wanted. There's a binder. Who knows what all was in that? That might actually be the one that had a Jokic auto in it, and his stuff hadn't exploded to what it did later on. I mean, I could probably go back on this YouTube channel and see me opening that binder. Maybe I'll have to do that. Maybe I'll grab that footage if I can find that. Buying Tom Brady base cards. That one, if I recall correctly, I graded that one. I think I got a 10 on it. So at the time, I graded it with SGC. At the time, that was just what people did, right? And it made sense. Check out that Westbrook patch. This is during the pandemic that I bought that for 16 bucks. This 60s lot here, that's got a Roger Maris rookie in it. I'm pretty sure that's the one that showed up in a paper plate, I think. Got our Andrew Luck gold, Ron Artest gold, Jeff Boster gold. Here's a PMG of Louis Scola for 14 bucks. Some more gold stuff. The Harper here. The Harper I graded, I think it was a PSA 10. It ended up selling for like 20 times what I bought it for. Lots of gold stuff. This must have been, 2020 must have been when I was really building out my gold refractor binder. Here's a mystery item for $160. I don't know what that was. Reggie Miller Shaq dual finals jersey. I remember going back and forth with the seller on that. 160 bucks, which seemed high at the time. Once again, it's interesting. I don't know if some of these are winners or not, but it's just fun looking back at this stuff. Yeah, now it's showing auctions twice. I really don't know what the deal is with that. And I'm also assuming that this doesn't keep, it doesn't necessarily include shipping and tax. So like this lot here of 61 cards, it was $43.95 plus shipping. So I don't know what all that ended up being, but there was a Lillard Prism rookie on the bottom row. You can see that in the bottom left. There was a Harden rookie in the bottom center, which it's not worth much now, but at the time, the Harden itself was worth 40 bucks. I think the Lillard was worth over 100. Oh, cat litter. Here's an Andrew Luck 101. I eventually did move that just because it was like, authentic relic. I don't know. I didn't like having that in my collection. These two cards here are funny because basically the Bob Davies, I took a, what did I sell for that? I think it was 2 Luka base cards. Like second year Prism base. I sold them for $15 a piece. They were in my quarter box. Sold them for $15 a piece, and I bought that Bob Davies. And then, oh yes, I remember the Artest plate, which I didn't want to pay that much for. It was listed at that price forever. I sold a Kobe Prism, orange ice that I got out of a hanger. I pulled it myself. It really hadn't been worth much, and then the value on it went up quite a bit. I sold that and funded that Ron Artest. So that was kind of how I justified buying things that I thought were priced high. Is all right, if I have a nice sale, I'm going to go ahead and do that. That Star Trek binder had a lot of good stuff in it. If I remember, there was a lot of good rookies in that Star Trek binder. I thought that Ginobili letter was a really good deal at $145. This estate lot I definitely opened on the channel. That I literally wanted one Chris Bosh finals patch that was in there. So that ended with me having to buy the whole thing. And there was a lot of nice stuff in there. A lot of Houston Texans stuff. So that was another one that I opened up on the channel. This Football and Basketball Commons year 2012 and up. It had a ton of 2012 Prism in it. And didn't have any of the big name rookies, but it had like 2 or 3 Jimmy Butlers in it. That which at the time those were very easy to move, just the base rookies raw. I just generally move stuff raw because other people were going to play the grading game, even though I did try it a little bit with SGC. I only sent like one batch, and then I did one PSA batch with a friend, I think of like a dozen cards. But I let other people play that game. I would buy the base cards. I would find the lots. Like that was a fun lot there. There's a Ron Artest limited logos. Here, this Barkley lot had a rookie in it. I sent that to PSA and I got an 8 on it, and I bought the whole lot for 78 bucks. But that was really the only good card in that lot. That binder was really good. That binder had a Dr. J rookie in it, and I ended up getting a PSA 6 on the Dr. J, and I kept it. But, it had Wilt base cards. It had a lot of 72 base cards. It also had like 3 Roger Staubach rookies in it. That was a great buy. Some of this was just me finding deals and me finding binders that were not listed well. So I think I probably fared pretty well overall in the pandemic. I don't see a lot of crazy buys here. I was still trying to be pretty calculated with it. I wonder what was in that lot. Why did I buy that lot? That might have been the Nate Archibald UD Century auto. I don't remember. It's a Kawhi lot. There was one I did buy a lot at one point though, and I talked about it on the channel that had fake hoops rookies in them, which I thought was insane at one point, but then I held them in my hand and like I could tell the look, the color, the feel, everything about them was off. And I didn't know people were faking hoops rookies, but that kind of gives you a glimpse at what 2020 was like. You know, the stuff was selling for so high that people started faking that kind of stuff. Some more lot stuff. Chronicles rookie lot. I do have a lot of those Chronicles rookies still, unfortunately. But, you know, I was trying to price it out. Like, there's so many Zions and there's so many Ja Morants in there. The Granger auto that was faded. So I made my own Topps Finest Gold. Basically, I peeled that auto off of that card entirely. And it kind of turned it into a gold refractor. So we're in August now. Ooh, that Bill Russell for $15. That's the Sunbeam or the Surefresh bread card. I'm really happy with that one. Some more gold stuff. That Aaron Holiday I ended up sending back because it had a huge like gash on the front of the card that wasn't in the picture. And it was a Probstein listing. It ended up getting listed at least 3 or 4 times, I think. Some Brady stuff here. $40 for that. I want to say there was more than that. I think there were a lot more football cards in that lot, but it's a Brady jersey, a Brady football piece. I think there was a Brady patch in there too. Ron Artest selective swatch, letter patch for $300. I kind of got ridiculed for that, not directly by name, but someone pulled that sale on Instagram, and the headline was like, someone actually paid $300 for a Ron Artest card. Yeah, you apparently didn't see the Logo Man sale either. All right, we're getting towards the end here. We're in November. Ooh, this pack lot. That one was a lot of fun. It doesn't look like it has a price on it necessarily. Maybe I bundled it. Maybe it was part of this lot up here for $115. It had like Topps Chrome packs in it. That's the one where I pulled the Durant on camera. I did an Instagram live. I was so happy about that. Just a lot of the same stuff. Binders, golds, lots. That was, I obviously was not a fun year overall for what all was going on, but it was kind of a interesting year in cards. I really enjoyed the lot hunting. It gave me something to kind of keep my mind occupied here at the house. I had a lot of fun with that. So we got some running shoes too. And then a Beckett lot. And that's pretty much how we end up the year. So I guess that's my 2020 in a nutshell. I hope I didn't give you the impression that there were a lot of crazy buys. I did see some Zion and some Chronicles base and some of that stuff in there, but I feel like I fared pretty well overall. So now I want to hear from you. I'm curious. Number one, what do you think of my 2020 and some of the purchases I made there? And then also, I want to hear about your purchases. Let me know your favorite and your most embarrassing purchase from 2020. Go ahead and put that in the comments. And then, as always, thanks for watching.